this.
Do that.
And then we do this. That's for the Amy. And then we get into it.
Mm-hmm. Just take it away from him. Under 4 left. The barn is alive again.
Yeah, sports show. Got me in my hormones. All gas, no brakes. Score 4-0. If you think you own this place, you get foreclosed. I've been in my head, but it's not.
We've done this 291 times. I think I know what I'm doing. Okay? I think I know.
That's right. And I think you all know not just what Mitch is doing, but what you're listening to. And what you're listening to is the sports show, which you can follow, listen, like, comment, stream, love, embrace, whatever you want with it, at Sports Show Podcast on the Instagram, at the Sports Show Podcast on the YouTube. Subscribe to the channels, hit the little buzzer. It's a little bell thing. Ding, 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 ding. And listen, we're on Podbean. We're on Spotify. There's an issue with the iTunes. We can't, you know what? I got to tell you something. Can I I'm going to put Apple on blast here.
Please.
Really quick.
Please.
You know, for a global conglomerate, like for a company such as big as Apple that's got a huge thing on the podcast market, getting a hold of anyone is absolutely, utterly ridiculous.
Almost impossible.
It's almost impossible. So what does work from the iTunes perspective is we're also on the CJSW 90.9 FM. If you go to cjsw.com and you can actually, the roundabout ways for right now, you can subscribe to their feed of what they put our podcast on iTunes, and it will work.
Yeah.
But so I don't know what the deal is, but they're not telling us what the deal is anyways. So for all intents and purposes, right now, Apple, we're not a fan of yours.
Nope.
We don't appreciate what you've done to the sports show.
Like anything you've done. And
we don't like how you treat the roster, quite frankly.
Yeah, I agree 110%. And you know what? Just a little FYI. You see what Netflix is doing. You know, wake up before you're gone.
That's right. So subscribe on Spotify, you guys. Spotify is, you know, and if not, then there is the YouTube channel as well. But we got to, I'm going to pass it to you, Mitch. I assume that during this week, you've done some perusing.
Oh, there was a lot of perusing. In fact, I could do one full show of just perusing. And maybe we should do that.
Is that a new show?
I'm going to tell you this. During the dog days, like, because we don't do baseball and we do a little bit of basketball. You'll hear
Summertime peruse?
Summertime perusing. Just throwing that out there. I think that show could take over this show.
You know what it would do, right? The peruse show would be really the amalgamation of like, it would take the Greek hour that we do, but just make it into like an hour. And we have carte blanche on topics.
And on top, we could do whatever we want.
And we're very opinionated.
You'd believe we are. Well, let's get right into it. You know me. I was perusing the nets.
It was doing it.
Obviously, the biggest news right now, and as everyone also knows, me and Dimitri, we're not in the closet anymore. We're out of the closet. We're wrestling guys. We're very proud of the wrestling that we love and cherish each and every day.
We're not just wrestling guys. We're commentators for Dungeon Wrestling. We sit ringside.
And we have the ACT.
Yeah.
That we do as well for the MOW, for the Mike McGuire. So if you like the wrestling and you like kind of this banter, trust me, you'll love the ACT.
Oh, yeah. Go to McGuire on Wrestling or McGuireShow.com. I'm telling you, if you're a wrestling person, you got to subscribe to the podcast. Not just ours, Mike's as well.
Absolutely.
It's a good wrestling forum of content, I would say.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, everyone saw it. The Rock, you know, he became part of the board of governors for TKO. TKO, if you don't know, real quick, they now own the WWE and they own the UFC. But the bigger news is this. They said, hey, US Network, hey, TSN, Sportsnet, thanks, but no thanks anymore. Starting next year, 2025, WWE, you want to watch it? SmackDown, Raw, whatever? You got to go to the Netflix.
Just Raw right
Just
now.
Raw right
just
now?
Raw.
Okay, pardon
just
me.
Raw.
Just Raw right now. You got to go to the Netflix and watch it. A $5 billion deal. Dimitri, when I first heard it, now granted, I've had a Netflix account for a long time, so have you. I think this is literally maybe the most brilliant play of all, from a business perspective.
100%.
Sucks for the avid fan that just wants to tune in and watch and not have a subscription anywhere. But guess what, man? A couple of weeks ago during the NFL playoffs, I think it was the Pittsburgh-Buffalo game. I think it was on Peacock. You got to be a subscriber to watch an NFL game. It's slowly happening, you guys. You want to watch these sports, you want to watch these events, you're going to have to buy a package. You're going to have to do it.
So people will argue, and they'll say right now, I can't okay, first of all, let me just start on the proponent, okay? This is an amazing deal.
Right.
This is an absolutely amazing deal. And you know what else I like? Because Raw, SmackDown, like I'm just saying specifically in the WWE's world, is one cycle they're on the USA Network. Then they got to get Fox to pick them up. They're always brokering deals. They're on Sportsnet. Then they're on Peacock. Like, you know, they kind of have to find a home because wrestling, in comparison to when these networks have NHL, NFL, NASCAR, all of the NBA, I'm sorry to say, but they really got to sell it.
Right.
What this has just done is put all those cable providers on notice and saying, hey, just so you know, you're not manhandling us. And I love that the WWE did it and said, actually, if you want the TV time now, you all got to fight for it because there's a new player in town. For all of you that are upset and saying, oh, I can't believe I can't watch Monday Night Raw or whatever the case is in this one, Monday Night Raw, because now it's on a subscription-based model.
Right.
Guys, we've always been on a subscription-based model. So follow me here. Let's just go 30 years ago. There's actually no difference to me.
Right.
30 years ago, you had basic cable. Consisted of 5 channels. By law, you needed a news channel and you needed the public access networks, whatever they were. Okay?
That's right, yeah.
So you had 5 channels. If you want more channels, what do? You got to get a sports package. You got to get your news package. You got to get your X package, your HG, your home networks, your TLC. Like, all that stuff has been packaged subscription based. There's no difference in what's happening right now, in my opinion. So, you know, for those that are saying, oh, I can't believe I got to pay $12.99 or whatever your local subscription price is for Netflix or the package you choose, to get Raw and SmackDown on Fox, Sportsnet, and whatnot, you're already paying $12.99 just to get those channels.
It's true. It's the reason I bring it up is because it was a major play. This is going to change sports. It might not seem you're like, well, it's WWE. No, you don't think the NHL wants this action? You don't think the NBA, who's already got maybe the biggest TV deal, doesn't want more? They always want more.
But Mitch,
Remember
they're doing
this.
it already. Center ice, Sunday ticket.
I agree.
It's been in our faces.
But the center ice and all that stuff. Imagine now because you have to be a really hardcore hockey fan to get center ice, right? Well, follow me on this.
I agree with
right
that,
now,
yeah.
you go on Netflix, you're bored, you're like, I'll flip around. Oh, Raw. Okay, it's there. If they offered that same thing on Netflix, I think I'd find myself going, hey, you know what? I heard about that Oilers game the other day or the Flames game. I'll go back and watch it. I'll go onto the Netflix and flip it. And it's there.
And look what Netflix is doing.
This is what I'm saying.
Netflix is now, this is basically them saying, you realize that you can come on our movie subscription-based model and watch live TV.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm saying.
So, YouTube, watch out.
All I'm going to say is that the CEO of
He's Greek.
Netflix, Greek.
He's Greek.
That's not.
What do
You're
you
welcome.
think? What do you think?
We started democracy. We started everything. We don't think we started this.
Wrestling is a Greek thing.
We started the sports revolution.
It is.
That's
Greeks.
what we did. Sorry.
The Greeks.
It is what it is. From there, I digress. Also, I know a lot of George. I'm looking at you, South Carolina. I know you want us to talk about Vince Kennedy McMahon. I know you want us to say something. All I'm going to say is this: you dirty little birdie. That's all I'm going to say. What is wrong with you, sir? We won't get into it because we're still in the preliminary. Give us a few weeks. Let's figure out some things, and then we will attack. You know this is our thing.
It's not a good look.
It's not a good look.
I'm just going to throw it out there. This is not a good look, my friends.
Not great at all.
No.
Let's jump over to the NHL real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, if you remember this name, he's a Hall of Famer. He's pretty good, but the news broke this week. The New York Islanders, they're about 4 points out of a wild card spot. They got a good team. They're not maybe the most exciting team. They said, we need a change. Lou Amorello. Who's going to change you? It's Lou. Good old Lou says, you know what? You want me to shake up the locker room? How about a Patrick Waugh coming back after 7 years of not being in the NHL? Here's a guy, Hall of Famer, one of the best goaltenders, if not the best goaltender of all time. Also a great coach, had the Avalanche guys running around. Got a little cocky, got into a Sakic. Sakic said, I don't like the tone of your voice. Get lost. Hasn't been here. Last year wins with the Rimouski Quebec Rembrandts. Rembrandts? Is that what they're called? Rembrandts?
Yeah.
Wins the Memorial
Yeah.
Cup, but because he hasn't been in the league for 7 years, a lot of people thought, it's over for Patrick. No. Lou brings him back. Dimitri, a lot of people in the NHL world are saying this could be the reason that the Islanders are able to get in the playoffs. If there's going to be a guy that's going to put a fire under your ass, it's this guy.
You know, I've always wondered what a French-Canadian version of John Tortorella would look like. And now I know it's Patrick Roy. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I love it. I love every part of it. I think that there's not enough coaches like that in the sense where it's like, hey, we want some character in our coach as well. We want someone who's going to whip you into shape. Like, this is not, and here's the thing. But here, I love it for this year. It's going to work this year. It's going to kind of work next year. And in true fashion, because I'm sorry, I'm going to categorize a full generation right now, but you millennial Gen Zers are going to find out after the sugar high's done, that he's just too hard on you.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's going to get fired. So great 3 to 4 year experiment. It's going to work out well. I'm going to love doing it. But this is what I see, Mitch.
I agree. Listen, the Islanders is a veteran-laced team right now. So this works. I agree with you. The puzzle piece fits.
Yes.
If it was a team of young guys, not working.
I don't see this happening in like Anaheim.
But this is the thing. I think Patrick Wall will, at least start it up. Look, he's been back for at least 2 games. They're 0-2. Okay, strong 0-2 games. But he's obviously got to get his hands on it and like mold it the right way.
I don't look at it as a bad thing that he's 0-2. And I'll tell you what, in this case, right, it's different when a coach comes in and he just kind of picks up where everything left off and it's a morale boost. This is actually a structural gameplay change.
Agreed.
Right, so you kind of like that's how I see it.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah.
And to your point, the East is more exciting than ever. Like, this is the opportunity where maybe for the first time ever we can actually see 2 coaches go at it, like literally throw punches. Tortorella versus Waugh, I'm down for it.
I'm down.
Anytime.
This
would be fun.
Even just them.
Just them. They give the little nod. They're like, meet you at center ice. Let's do this.
Why center ice? They should meet in the bench. They should pick someone's bench to do it.
I have to admit, I'm a sucker for when back in the day, I think Patrick was actually a part of it. Him and Boudreau, maybe it was, and they were shaking the glass at each other. The 2 coaches just going at it.
Now we're talking.
That's the good stuff, man. If that doesn't rile you up as a player on the team, that going, my coach is tougher than me, I don't know what else.
You can't ask for more.
You can't.
I agree.
Speaking of things to change. Let's talk about change for a second. Last week, I told you guys, I apologize to the Edmonton Oilers. You guys were on a 12-game heater.
I knew you were going
They're on a 15-game heater. Today, they're going for number 16, 2 o'clock early game. So who knows? We'll know. Maybe we'll know by the end of this podcast. But in all honesty, this is the thing, Dimitri. You've been at the casino tables. You've been on a heater in your life of some kind, if not a casino run. What's the number 1 rule when you're on the heater?
Don't touch nothing. Don't change nothing. Don't dress different. Don't look different. You let it ride until it rides no more.
Exactly. Even in hockey, they say when you win the Eastern Conference or Western Conference, fine. Don't touch the trophy. Tradition. Don't touch anything.
Right.
The Oilers decided to touch something. They went and got Corey Perry. Corey Perry, after about a 2-month hiatus, was able to get re-signed by any team, and Edmonton said, let's go get him. Now, did they know they were going to be on a 15-game heater at this time? Probably not, but they were on a heater during this time, and they went and got a guy that, when he left Chicago, it wasn't on, let's say, parting terms. It was more one party saying, you should really leave the party before the party ends.
Right.
Thoughts on Edmonton, the hottest team in the NHL, in all of hockey maybe, across the world, picking up a guy named Corey Perry.
Mitch, I like it.
Yeah.
And not only do I like it, I love it. I know exactly what you're saying. I really, really do. But here's the difference with a Corey Perry. Corey Perry is not going on the top line. And if he ends up playing on the top line, they didn't get him because he's a top line player.
Yeah.
They got him for a lot of other reasons, to which myself, I believe is one of the gaps that Edmonton is missing.
Right.
Little experience, locker room leader, veteran, toughness, grit, really instilling what it takes to actually win a Stanley Cup. Yeah. From that perspective. And Corey Perry's a guy who leads by example. I got to give this guy credit, man. He's like, for all of you, we're looking at our version of this is our Gary Roberts.
Yeah.
This guy can play forever. He still plays in the corners in front of the net. He's still grimy and dirty and old school hockey. He's an advantage to anybody's team.
I agree. A winner is a winner, and he's a winner everywhere. Memorial Cup winner, Stanley Cup, gold medals, Rocket Richard winning. He was the Hart Trophy winner at one time, you guys.
That's right.
So, yeah, he fell
Did we
into
put gold medal? I
said gold
yeah,
medal.
you did. Yeah.
The guy fell into a rut. Whatever happened, or when I say a rut, something happened in Chicago. He was fired and let go and all that fun stuff. Chicago's got other problems. You guys got to remember, Chicago's under a little bit of scrutiny because of what's happened in the past with sexual allegations. They can't have any more bad press. They had to get rid of Corey. Either which way.
That's a good
okay?
point, Mitch. Yep.
So they bring him in. I'm still like, look, man, I'm a little bit old school as well, where I'm like, do you touch it? Edmonton is the kind of team that, the way I look at it, I don't think it's going to matter. I think it's a great pickup because of what you just said. He brings everything. They are looking now. They're not fooling around to win the Stanley Cup, and this guy's not going to hurt it.
You know what I like in his press conference is he also really wants to be there as well.
Right.
Right. And that's a good sign. That's a good sign for Edmonton, is what I'm saying, is when other people are like, you know what? I can kind of see what's happening here. I liked hearing that because the thing you don't want to hear is, for me, I felt this was the problem in Calgary and backtrack 3 years ago. Yeah, we got good players. Yeah, we got a good team, but did people really want to win?
Right.
Was there really a mindset of actually wanting to win? I wasn't so sure. I like this pick. By the way, I saw the Oilers when they were in town last week, and I can truthfully say that as of right now, the best player I've ever seen in front of my eyes is Connor McDavid.
Funny you bring that up. You looking at my notes again?
No.
Because I remember we talked and you told me you went and you loved watching McDavid. You said, Mitch,
I couldn't believe
the guy's amazing. The other day, I'm perusing the nets. I'm looking around and I fell on a Colorado game and I'm watching McKinnon play and I'm like, oh my God. This guy is flying down the ice.
Are you reading my mind?
So
because I was
in my notes, I put together, I go, Dimitri, you watch McDavid live.
Yeah.
I'm watching McKinnon, and I'm telling you right now, and McKinnon now just
He's
by
number one.
Number one in points, doing all his thing. The team, the Colorado, starting to make their stride. Dude, I will put it on blast, and this is not against McDavid. Just right now, I think McKinnon's also on a heater of his own, but he's got that Stanley Cup in his back pocket, and we've talked a little bit about it before. But, dude, I think McKinnon, and what I saw the other night, when he can make Makar look a little slow, like slower, I'm sorry, man. I go McKinnon.
I think, for me, I love my Nathan McKinnon. I think he's grittier than Connor McDavid. But I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, the difference is like Connor McDavid is doing things on the ice, and where he goes on the ice and how he does things, no one. He is the most talented person on the ice. Is he the best player in the NHL right now? Like, I see where you're going with it when you look and say, well, there's an argument because McKinnon's got a Stanley Cup. He is number one in point. Like, I know where you're going with it.
Makes a couple of bucks more.
But all I'm saying is this. On the eye test, I mean, this guy is actually doing things that McKinnon cannot do on the ice.
You really think so?
100%.
Oh, I completely disagree.
100%.
I think McKinnon can do the same. It's just... You know what? Here's the thing.
You think McKinnon beats him in a race?
I think it's very close.
Do you think McKinnon? No, with the puck, you really think that McKinnon
with the puck? Yeah, I think he could take him.
Outskate McDavid.
I think he could take him.
No,
I don't know if he'll beat him. I think he could take him. I think
you'd be.
Dude, I don't know what I was watching. Who were they playing the other night? I can't remember who it was. Maybe Washington when he added 4 goals. I don't know. Either way, this guy, when he has the puck and he's I'm telling you, the defenders are looking and they're like, "Oh crap!"
Mitch,
and
I get it.
They run away. They run away. They instead of like going after him because they know if I beeline for this guy, he's just going to go around me. If I retract back, oh my God, he's going to use me as a shield and shoot around me. It's the same as McDavid. They're very similar. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I get it. It's close, but first of all, there's no way that McKinnon can outskate McDavid. There's no way he can outskate him with the puck, and there's no way that McKinnon can go through 4 or 5 guys in a tighter space like McDavid. I'm just saying McDavid is doing things on the ice that no one else is doing.
So you're saying that if McDavid and McKinnon had to maybe be in a figure skating contest, like who can do a quadruple?
It's McDavid.
You think he can do it over McKinnon?
There's something about that MC in front of your name that just grants power.
Absolutely.
McDonald's is the best franchise of all time.
All time.
McKinnon, McDavid,
McLovin, greatest character of all time. Yeah, you're totally right.
I'm just saying.
Last thing I wanted to talk about
McMitch.
McMitch. Oh, that's the name of the podcast.
McMitch.
Real quick.
McMahon?
The other team. That's you know what?
Hey,
he was the
it's a
king for a long
WWE.
time. He
I'm
was the
just
king.
saying.
I was looking. That's true. I mean, it's true though. So
Maybe he shit the bed lately,
Yeah,
but
maybe.
whatever.
Hey, what's he gonna do?
Maybe he didn't though.
Maybe he didn't. We don't know.
Your call.
Hey, was Amber Heard there? All I know is this: is that one other thing I want to bring up is the Boston Bruins. This team right now, as of yesterday, number one team or tied with Vancouver as the number one team, and we still don't give these guys any love. I literally was looking at it. They're an original 6 team.
Yeah.
They've been literally the best team from day one this year.
Yeah.
Number one team of all time in the regular season last year. 2 of the best goalies. Great all-round team. And they still don't get any love the way they should.
Yeah, you know why? Because
Why?
they're too good. There's no there's no press on them.
Maybe that's
There's
what
no
it is.
dirt.
And it's, the Luch kind of brought a little dirt this year. But
Yeah, but no one cared.
Even Bergeron was thinking about coming out of retirement. He's like, they're still this good. Maybe I'll just come back and play a little.
That's amazing. You're right. I don't know. They're just something like Vancouver. It's like, yeah, but Vancouver for us it's a Canadian team.
Right.
They're doing this. Because they don't have the Boston Bruins have never had a player. It's crazy to think, like, of all the players, even Pasternak now with goals, but they've never had the player. And they've just been a group of really solid guys.
Agreed.
You know, they don't stand out in a crowd. They're not wearing hypercolors.
You know what? All agreed, but it's just weird.
It's a shame
because they have a great fan base. They got, media. They got things around them, but for some reason we never talk about them. And I was just thinking I was looking at the standings, put things together, and I was like, you know what? I'd feel if I'm a sales guy and I'm number one all the time, like Boston is, and I'm never getting any sort of accolades from the manager, I'd get a little miffed.
They need a Kardashian.
They need a Kardashian thing.
That'll take them.
That could do it. Yeah.
Or a real bear.
Hey, good idea.
It was Cam. Cam was right. He's Cam on the other side. Yeah.
Or I just thought you were waving to random. Actually, the guy next to us waved to us too.
Oh, did he?
He did, yeah.
Really? Okay. Is he doing the pecan? What's his deal?
He's out now, but he was looking at some controversial things.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was a whole bunch of. I'll talk to you. I don't want to bring it up on the pod. We're off to the sports show power ranking. You know how it works. It's worked on the curve.
Okay.
All right. At number 5, it's Tampa Bay. Those guys are just grimy and sitting there. And guess what they did? They knocked Toronto into the wild card now. Hey, Toronto. Hey, I know Austin scores 3 goals every other day. And mind you, I will give him respect. 40 goals at the halfway point. I will give you respect, Austin.
Not bad.
But still, you can't worry about that right now.
Let's think about this. 40 goals at the halfway point.
Yeah.
You know, kind of slightly over. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Crazy.
It is impressive, but it's not enough. You're just in the wild card. Look at Boston. Number 1. But we're talking about Austin again.
That's what I'm saying.
At number 4, it's the Winnipeg Jets. We said they're good. They're just staying right there. They're doing their thing.
They're on cruise control
right
now.
And same with Colorado at number 3. And like I said last week, they're getting healthy at the right time.
Scares me. They scare me, buddy.
Buddy, you know what I'm looking forward to? And I heard this somewhere. What about a little Colorado and Edmonton meeting up in the playoffs? You want to talk about high-speed attacking game? Oh, mamma mia. At number 2, it's Vancouver.
Yeah.
And at number 1, I'm going to give you the praise you need, Boston. You're number 1. But so is Edmonton.
Ooh.
And so is Stav. Last week, I put him at 1B.
What's he doing?
Dude, the guy, ice cold Cobra. Game winner. They go into the finals of the SO Minor Hockey Week.
Okay.
Goes to shootout.
Is he a goalie?
No, he's a player. George is
the goalie. That's right.
Stav goes up. He needs to score, win the game for the championship. Top corner, put it away, honey. What? Let's go. Stav didn't just take what we said last week. He upped it one more.
What?
So, Stav, you get it once again. 2 weeks in a row, Stav is the number 1 on the sports power ranking.
The first ever sports showman of the year.
Ooh, I like
that. I just came up with that.
I like that.
I just came up with that.
I like that. All right.
Because it says sports show,
right?
But sports showman. So it has like our. Do you see what I did?
Yeah, I see. You put the
he's
man
got
in
it
the back. Yeah, that's nice.
We need to get like a little trophy.
We should get him one. You know he's good friends with Johnny Hockey. Get those 2 winners in here.
Oh,
that'd be fun.
Forget it,
hey.
Ladies. The door's locked. Okay,
the door is locked. All right.
McMitch.
Speaking of doors getting locked, speaking of let's crack it right open, it's the NFL. We are down to the AFC and NFC championship games. Let's do this. Last week, hey, Buffalo. What have I said all time? What have I said? I might have been a little wrong about Lamar, but I wasn't. He'll prove me wrong tomorrow or right tomorrow, whatever. But listen, I don't put this one on Josh Allen. I don't, okay? But Buffalo, you guys are masochists. I am completely believing this now. You lose 4 Super Bowl appearances back in the 90s. Fine. You go on a run where you guys are not good for a long time. You finally get Josh Allen. You get a good coach. You start making a run. And to my point, your fans legitimately jump onto flaming tables. You guys love pain. You guys love to see yourselves hurt. You don't want to win. This is what you wanted the whole time. Just saying.
Okay, so where you say you don't put it on Josh Allen.
Right.
I do.
You know
and
what?
I'll tell you why.
Yeah, go ahead.
I agree with everything except for one set of downs.
Yes.
I'm going to say something right now. There is, in a normal scenario, if none of the history happened in this, we never talked. What we watched was one of the best games of the year.
Absolutely.
It was incredible. 2 powerhouses. It's one of those, why couldn't this be the AFC Championship game? However, I'm at comfort because the Ravens are going to play,
Kansas City, yeah.
Kansas City, right? And you're okay, got it. We have a really good AFC Championship game as well. Here's the thing,
right?
Is that the whole question is not whether the Bills are good or not. The Bills are a good team.
They're good. Not great.
It was all on Josh Allen. And yeah, he did play well. He threw some amazing plays, amazing passes. But I don't care.
Right.
At the end of the day, the field goal was missed.
Yeah.
To tie it. Yes. Mm-hmm. But I seem to remember that before that, on those sets of downs, when you had to drive the field, you couldn't make a play on 3 downs to get a first down or come closer, and the Bills could have iced the entire game with a touchdown.
Agreed.
I'm sorry, but that, I don't care. I don't care. That is what an elite quarterback who wants elite money to be considered elite does. You're not there to go 3 and out and then put it all on a tying field goal from 45 out, whatever it was.
Right.
You had 3 opportunities. You missed. You couldn't create plays. You couldn't do anything. Where was everything you did?
Yeah.
The whole game on that last set of downs.
I will put it.
So I do put it on him.
I put it on him too. Joe, Dimitri, if you want to be an elite quarterback in this league, you want to be a Hall of Famer, you have to win on your own, even if you're not getting help. What do I mean? Sean McDermott, the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, to me, once again got outcoached. He decided late in the game, right, to at around their 50-yard, let's call it the 50-yard mark, to do that fake punt.
Yeah, even before.
Just
slightly before.
Right before. And what do? They do it right to Hanlon. This is the gentleman that had the cardiac arrest scare on the Buffalo. I'm telling you right now, when I used to play football, sometimes there are just little tells, and you're sitting across and you're like, something doesn't seem right. When I see Hamlin sitting across on the punt team, not to say that he hasn't been there before, and it's late in the game, you're like, something doesn't seem right. They sniffed it out perfectly. They saw the nostalgia,
Mitch.
because if he gets a first down, like in wrestling, this could have been the greatest pop of all time, right?
Mitch.
But Dimitri, they went to the well. They went to the nostalgia play. It was all about punt the ball, pin them, hold them, see where it turns out. You don't give Kansas City the ball at the 50-yard mark. You don't do that.
No, and they're lucky that it worked out for them on the next set of plays after, where they ended up getting the ball back.
That's right.
Right? Because of the fumble
That's
or however
right.
it was
the touchback.
The touchback. Yeah. So they're lucky. They're definitely lucky. And then, but you're right, completely outcoached. You got to rely on a guy. Like, why would you?
This is what I'm saying.
You got to rely on a guy who's on the field. And this is where the guys like Belichick are master coaches, because they'd be like, well, I know you don't play this position, but I also know you're athletic. So, guys, if we're going to run this play, you give it to McMitch.
McMitch.
Okay?
He would have been great on the sweep.
Would have been great. Anyways.
Great. Let's jump over to Baltimore. Listen, Baltimore, respect. They, at halftime, were tied with Houston, 10-10. And then Lombard said, okay, enough of this, and slapped them in the mouth and said, okay, who are we going to play in the AFC Championship? Look, this is the only thing I'm going to say about you, Baltimore. I said it once, I'll say it again. You guys are literally the most underrated number one team I've ever seen. No one talks about you guys.
Nobody.
It's the weirdest thing to me.
People could say the game was close, right? But it wasn't close. You know what I saw Baltimore that game? It was like a boxer who's completely better than the other one. They're like, okay, we'll take our time. We'll see what you got. You do what you do. And then the second half, they just ran it open.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then we jump over to the NFC. Detroit, the team of destiny. At home again, taking on Tampa Bay. You know, again, this one started off pretty good, and then Detroit put the gears to them. All I'm going to say is this. I am a huge Packer fan, same with Dimitri, but I am actually going to cheer a little bit for Detroit. Even though they're in our division, I like everything about these guys. They're gritty, they're nasty, they can run the ball. I've talked about it a million times in playoff football. You got to be able to run and pass. Goff's on a heater. Their defense hasn't played up to par. I'm liking Detroit.
They have identity, Mitch. They have an identity, and it's a likable identity.
Absolutely.
And like any organization, it starts from the top.
Okay, finally, Green Bay. Listen, you had it. You had it the whole time. We said it last week. We know San Francisco's got your number, but you had it. This was the time to change.
I've never been more proud of a team in a loss. I'll be honest with you. You know, it burns me. Yes, we first of all, not the first play of the game, but I believe it was the first drive, maybe second of San Francisco. The point is the referees messed up where they spotted the ball when they went on it on fourth down.
Right,
that wasn't even close. That was just beyond like, okay, man, what a botched call. But that's not what it was. What it was is, you know what I was proud of? Green Bay. Hey, this team literally shook off the dust, the cobweb, whatever you want to call it, walked into the playoffs, had a very good win, had a very good game against arguably the best team in the NFL. If not, then they're the second best team in the NFL by not much at all. We're talking McDavid, McKinnon again here, basically. And the reality is yes, they missed the field goal. That changes the whole game. They could have had them. But even if they didn't, Mitch, the youngest team in the NFL with a rookie quarterback and all parts moving walked into San Francisco, okay, and literally put it down these guys' throats.
Yes.
And this is a team that has a salary cap and big game players beyond comprehension. To me, the real MVP of this, what Sean more than anyone, is LaFleur. He is a good coach. He does know how to coach, and he's a better coach when everyone's just kind of buying in on what he's trying to do.
Right.
And to me, we're in good shape. We're in great shape.
Look, the better team won straight up. I mean, a lot of people can give the kicker a hard time. It sucks because it was a very makeable kick. The pressure's on. What I don't like, Dimitri, is simply this. We already lose to San Fran, and we've said it before, Seattle in the past. Unfortunately, the tradition continues.
Yeah. And
I worry that it keeps going. And we were in the red zone 3 different times, and we really should have came out with a couple of touchdowns. We didn't. That was the game changer. Done. And I'll leave it there. There was a point at the very beginning of the game, I think that changed the game. We went for Savage had an interception, a pick six. He could have taken it to the house and dropped the ball. I think we go up 10-0 at this point. It's a totally different game and we win the game. I think.
Look, I agree. We lost. They didn't win the game. We did lose the game.
Yes, agreed.
Okay, but I'm not upset because the other side of me says if I'm not a Green Bay fan and I'm an outsider, I do want San Francisco to go further than Green Bay because Green Bay has a higher likeliness of inconsistency. I don't want a botch final.
Hey, to me, we went to the Super Bowl. We made it to the playoffs.
We made it.
Without Aaron.
We did it. Year one.
Hey, just saying.
Just say it.
All right, real quick. Who do you like? Baltimore and Kansas City AFC Championship game. Who's going to the Super Bowl?
I got to tell you, Kansas City just keeps getting I told you guys. I told you guys. They keep getting better. But
what?
Baltimore I think is going to run it down their face big time, you guys. That's my bold prediction.
I got Kansas City in this one. I think the one thing they have that's been different during this whole run they've had is their defense is better than I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I'm going to take Kansas City. Who do you got in the NFC? San Francisco hosting the Detroit Lions.
If you're a betting man and you want to bet on the upset, if
Right.
you really, really do, this is the one you want to do it on.
Really?
Don't touch the other game. Take the odds on Detroit. It's great. Maybe even take them on the spread. I don't know. What are they giving? 7?
3.5.
3.5.
Sure, no, you're right. 7.
It is 7.
Yeah.
Okay. So, take it for Detroit. That might be a good. I just can't see myself. How I felt about the Packers losing steam. I kind of worry this with the Detroit.
Right.
It's going to be a tough game. They're motivated, but San Francisco, they just got too many tricks up their sleeve and too much talent on the roster.
You know what? I'm going to go with a little controversy, and not controversy, but a little ironic situation. What was the first game of the NFL season this year? Does anyone remember? Kansas City took on Detroit. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to end the same way. Detroit, Kansas City in the Super Bowl. And P.S., Detroit won on Thursday night.
What?
To start the season.
What?
That's what caused all this entourage. And Taylor Swift's now here. She's showing up all these games.
Really?
I don't know.
That's insanity.
I don't know. Boom. Off to rapid banter.
Love it.
Which two bros would you rather hang with, the Kachucks or the Kelseys?
The Kelseys.
Nah, they are nutso. Goff, Purdy, Lamar, and Lamar. Rank 1 to 4 for me.
Brock, Purdy,
Yeah,
Lamar,
right.
and Lamar.
A bride found out that she got cheated on right before the wedding, but she still expects her bridesmaids to pay for the dresses. Fair, unfair.
Hey, you signed up for it.
It's true. I agree with you.
Okay, contractual obligation.
Footage of a cop with a body camera shows that when he was attending a 911 call to Jim Irsay, who's the Indy Colts owner, he was blasting Taylor Swift. What's your go-to song when you got to get something done, Dimitri?
For Whom the Bell Tolls, Metallica.
I swear I knew you were going to say Metallica of some kind. Milwaukee Bucks fired coach Adrian Griffin. He's 30-13 in his first year, second in the East. Went to Doc Rivers and said, Coach Griffin was only halfway through the season. Foul, not foul.
Oh, cry me a Doc River.
That's good. Speaking of coaches, Bill Belichick interviewed with Atlanta twice and didn't get the job. What's going on with Bill?
Believe in the hiring process.
Holy. Last one. Joel Embiid scored 70 points this week. Donich last night scored 73. Who's taking over the sports league more, Europeans in basketball or U.S. players in hockey?
It's Europeans in basketball.
Definitely. There it is. That's
Wow.
rapid banter.
I love it.
All right, we're off to Maga Malaka. So this week, you know me, guys. I'm perusing the nets. I'm fooling around.
Yeah.
And I heard this thing and saw this survey came out about the world and our meat consumption. Dimitri and I love our meat. I love
it.
grilling meat. We like to eat the meat. I think you'll be surprised how much of the meat, I'm giving you the rankings. You tell me, Maga Malaka, basically, would you eat this meat? And I'll give you the tonnage of how much we eat it across the world.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
Venison was number 15 on the list, but venison, Maga or Malaka?
Oh, Maga. I even eat my own venison that I take now.
It's a clean meat. 30 tons of it is consumed a year on
Where?
venison. It just all around the world.
All around the world.
All around the world.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Quail. Would you eat some quail? Do you like the quail?
I've eaten quail. I like quail. And you know what? When used right, the quail egg. It's not a bad little addition to a couple things.
It's a good scrambled
I'm going to
egg.
go Maga.
Maga, again, I agree. 220 tons of it eaten yearly across the world.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
So
Buddy, wait until you see some of the
so,
other numbers.
hold on. People eat quail almost 7 times as much as venison?
Absolutely. When you think about it, the venison, I mean, are you going to find it in
No,
some,
you're right.
that's
You're
what-
right.
what I'm saying?
You're right. You're right. It's a game bird.
Here's
the
one
quail.
for you, and I'm not joking. This is a legit survey. Camel. Would you eat some camel?
You know what? I got a real hard time with any type of camel, horse. I got to go Malaka. I just think there's better uses. Like, here's the thing with the camel.
Right.
There's nothing else that's getting you across the desert, Mitch.
It's true. You eat up all the camel. How are you getting across the desert?
now the Silk Road is different.
It's a different game.
It's a different
Agreed.
game.
So stop eating the camel. We're against camel here. 630 tons of camel is eaten and again, obviously not eaten here in North America where we love our meat. So you can imagine the camel is an endangered species.
Yeah, well, because it's probably easier to get than the deer.
True.
It's not as elusive. The camel's like, what
Just
do you
a
want?
lot
Ow!
of camel meat. A lot of camel meat.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, since you said it,
You know
the
what?
horse meat,
Hold on. You know what I'd like to know?
Yeah.
How many Camel cigarettes
Yeah.
in tons is smoked in relation to the camel meat consumption.
I feel like you gotta smoke Camel cigarettes to get that taste of camel out of your mouth. Did you have camel this morning? Sure did. Is that camel on your breath?
How do you eat camel?
I don't know.
Probably the same way as
Well,
everything
it's the same
else.
question
Yeah.
I'll ask you for this
Okay.
one. Horse meat, ladies and gentlemen. Would you try it? Maga or Malaka?
Okay, the thing is I would try almost near anything. But here's the thing with the horse. I'm
Right.
just going to, all you that eat horse.
Right.
Why?
Yeah. It's a majestic creature.
It's a majestic
why would
creature.
you do this?
Why?
It's not nice. Look, if it's the world ending and shit, fine. Fine.
You
I'll
gotta
do what you got to do.
Listen,
right?
you're stuck on a mountain.
Yeah.
There's no alternative. You got to take one down.
Yeah.
No one's looking.
Jorge the horse is going down. I get it. You know what I mean? But still, I mean, it's a lot. Anyway.
I don't know.
So you say Malaka.
I say Malaka.
800 tons of horse is eaten across the world.
I will give it this, though, is that number's impressive, but
Yeah.
a horse is also 4 or 5 times the size.
Right.
So there's really less horse in comparison to, let's say, quail.
All right. I'll get down to the nitty gritty here. How about turkey? Turkey.
Well, we eat
What are we
it.
gonna
do?
How much turkey do you think that it's a Maga too? But this is what's kind of impressive.
That's got to be in like the 800 trillion tons.
Try 6 million tons. 6 million tons of turkey is eaten a year.
million.
But this is the thing. We eat it here in North America basically twice a year.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder.
It makes you wonder.
It makes you wonder. That's
Huh.
a lot of turkey. That's it. All right. Let's go to everyone's favorite. Lamb. Maga or Malaka?
Maga, come
Maga.
on. There's no Greek Easter. We're nothing as Greeks.
18 million tons of lamb. Again, it's mainly the Greeks, the New Zealanders.
I bet you that
And the
17 million of those 18 million tons are Greek.
100%. I would agree with that.
I like that.
All right, going down to the nitty gritty. I'm just gonna get it's chicken and another. Chicken is second place, believe it or not. Beef is third. Beef
is third?
No, beef is fourth. Beef is at 92 million tons. Maga, we eat that.
Okay.
Pork, 118 million tons. Again, I go back to it. There's certain countries and cultures that don't eat pork.
Right, I get
imagine.
it. So here's my thing.
Yeah.
How is beef that expensive if there's less consumption over the pork? Anyways, I
don't know.
digress.
Chicken is at second place at 128 million tons. And at number one, it's seafood at 180 million tons consumed around the world. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You learned something today on the Sports Show.
Wow. And just seafood.
I saw the survey. I wanted to bring it up.
Is it that includes fish?
Yeah, fish,
scallop,
lobster, all
lobster.
that crap. Yeah, all that stuff.
Number one.
Number one.
You know what? I get it.
Yeah, it does make
yeah,
sense.
it makes
when
a lot
you're
of sense.
adding all that in as one, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Now, within that,
Right.
I'd like to see the breakdown. No, Maga, look, I love me my Listen, let me tell you something, Roger. You think a guy like me doesn't get gout or gets gout by not eating what's on this list here? I mean, come on. Seafood, beef,
Yeah.
lamb, you name it. I got it. I want it. You want to know what else I want? I want you to like. I want you to subscribe. I want you to get on the internets, get on your Instagram. I want you to look for a blue and white logo that says The Sports Show. I want you to follow. I want you to subscribe. I want to say thank you very much for all of you that do listen to the show and have been supporting us for a very long time. Thank you so much. We do have merch on the alternate commentary table. You can go McGuireShow.com to get it. Your GWO shirts. There's a lot of stuff on there. Podbean, Spotify, Sports Show, CJSW 90.9 FM. Listen, episode 291. It's one for the books, but we got to shove it in the locker. We do got to hit the showers.
See you later, guys. Have a great day. Horse meat.
Oh, you know they used to make mortadella out of horse meat.
Really?
Yeah, way
Damn
back.
it, I like
They did both. So
mortadella.
no, it's predominantly pork, but there was a point in time where it was horse meat. I remember we looked it up. Someone had brought it up, and then there was a coach's challenge on it.
I'm telling you, the horse meat is interesting. And camel. That much camel. 630 tons.
The thing is, though, I can't. It's too practical.
Katerina, get the camel. Let's grill up some camel tonight.
The one that I feel the most sorry for is the cow, because it's from start to finish cultivated, and they just sit there and they look so peaceful and happy.
Do you think the hump is eatable on the camel? Or is it probably? It's
a lot of water retention.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's
knuckly.
where their water sacks
That's where all
are.
the knuckle is.
It's where all the grizzle and the knuckle. No, that's where their water sacks are.
No, I'm gonna leave it alone. Okay, go. What about the camel toe? Do you eat that? Just go, get off, shut it off. Shut it off.
Listen, I know people. You know what?
Just
Get
shut
out
it
of here.
off. Just shut it off. I bet you Vince McMahon eats it. just shut it off. Just shut it off.
Gonna get the hair off at first, Mitch. Otherwise, W, we're saved by the bell by the Sports Show, playing every week. Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, Sports Show TV, at Sports Show Podcast. Amy, do it at Sports Show Podcast.
Locked in.